Well, great afternoon, Fire. Welcome to another Momentum Monday. Every Monday, we're building habits that lead to bigger results throughout the week. So remember our mission this seminar year is to build customers, build income, and we're building leaders in Fire. So today's training is about something simple that can really completely change and transform your appointments. And that's by having a class agenda. I've been uh earlier in my career, I did not have a class agenda. Let me just be 100% transparent. I just did not. I just winged it. I just winged it and just kind of covered and did what I had to do. But once I started having a class agenda to follow and sharing that agenda with my clients, whoever the facial was, whether it was a facial or class, I saw my business transform. You see, many consultants think they have to know all the products or they have to have a particular personality to hold a great class. But real talk, the difference between an average class and a productive class is having a plan. So here's why an agenda matters. Think about this. Have you ever finished a class and thought, oh my God, I forgot to talk about my hostess program? Or, oh God, I never asked for referrals. Or maybe you said, oh man, I ran out of time before I booked my second appointment. That's because you didn't have a plan, you didn't have an agenda. An agenda keeps you focused. It keeps your customers engaged and it ensures that you don't leave money or opportunities on the table. Think about being a pilot. Maybe you're flying for whether it's a major airline or a regional airline, right? Before a pilot takes off, they don't just start flying, right? They use a checklist even after they flew 1,000 flights, or it doesn't matter because systems create consistency. The same is true in our business. An agenda is your checklist. It gives you confidence because you will always know what's coming next. The Fire Class agenda is really simple, and I use it for every appointment. So what I'm going to do is share with you how the agenda is saying whether it's in person appointment or it's a virtual appointment. I just tweak it at the end. Okay. So first, what I'm going to share with you the agenda that I use for a in-person event. Okay. If it's in person. I always do my welcome, I do my opening, that sort of thing. I'm not going to cover that today. I am going to have another training on having your opening because the power of an open is just as powerful as the power of the close. Okay, but we're going to talk about that another time. We're going to focus on this agenda. So once I get to the portion of my opening for my class and I'm talking about the agenda, I'll transition in this way. Well, let me share with you guys exactly what we're going to do today. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mary Kay, the company. Then I'm going to share with you a little bit about my journey and why I said yes to this Mary Kay opportunity. Next, I'm going to introduce you to what we call a miracle, and that's Mary Kay Miracle Set. Then I'm going to cover some solutions that Mary Kay has for common skincare problems. And last, I'm going to share with you how you get to take these amazing products home with you today. So let's go ahead and get started. So that's how that agenda goes. When I open my appointment, that's that agenda. Okay. If it's virtual, it's the same thing. I just tweak it in the end. Okay. So if it's a virtual class, in the end, instead of me saying how you get to take the products home with you today, if it's virtual, I'll say, then I'm going to share with you how you can get your hands on these amazing products. So let's get started. So that's the only thing I do. That's the only tweak. Everything else is the same. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company, tell you about my journey, which is your iStory. Okay. Then I'm going to introduce the miracle set. Then I'm going to tell you about some solutions. And then I'm going to tell you how you get to get your hands on it or take it home with you. Get excited. Okay. So that's the only thing. Share your agenda. So that should be the flow of your class. That should be the flow of your class. That in that order. I'm going to talk about the company. I'm going to share my iStory. I'm going to talk about the miracle set. I'm going to give some solutions to common skincare problems. And then I'm going to tell you how you get to take these products home with you today. Okay. So that should be your agenda. And that helps you to flow. Okay. So remember, you're serving your customers. You're not selling. We serve. And serving is the key. Okay. So this is where all your preparation comes together. Here's what I want you to do. And I will really, really want you to remember. Confidence doesn't come from having all the answers. Confidence comes from having a plan. When you know what's next, you're more relaxed, your customers are relaxed, and your appointments become smoother and more productive. Professionals don't improvise like I used to do. Child, I used to do some improvise. I used to improv. Okay. Everything should be prepared. You should prepare for your appointments. So your weekly challenge this week is practice your agenda. Remember, a class without an agenda is just like taking a road trip without directions. You will eventually get there, but you'll waste some time. You may miss some opportunities and probably take a few wrong turns. Your agenda keeps you focused. Your agenda creates consistency, and your agenda will help you serve every guest with excellence. So this week, don't just show up with a plan, because every class is an opportunity for you to build customers, build income, and build your leadership skills. Thank you for joining me for Momentum Monday. Go have a purposeful appointment and stay focused. And remember, small improvements every week leads to extraordinary results. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.